Nigerians in diaspora set up November 26, 2022 for the presidential debate of aspirants of different different parties in Nigeria aspiring for the presidential position for February 25th, 2023. And you're welcome to the Dailies on Equa Television, and thank you for joining us on this program this morning. It's a beautiful day, and thank God the weekend was great, and hope your weekend was also great. We bring to you fresh package and also stories, and we'll review them along with Sele Elisha on papers that are making headways on our national dailies. Good morning, Sele.
Morning to say.
Hope you had a good weekend.
Very great. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. Do well to drop your comment, and half past the hour, our phone lines will be open for you to call us on stories that interest you. Please drop your comments and we'll take them real time on the program. I am Owola Bitosin. So let's start up with the papers.
The first paper, which is the Daily Sun newspaper, thousands marching on Onitsha in support of Peter Obi, with detail found on page 26. NDLEA nabbed Lagos airport cleaner who leads drug syndicate, with detail found on page 4. The big story, crisis bills in Tinubu's campaign as Adamu's men allege neglect. And then the writer of the story accused the APC candidate of denying party chairs access to campaign council's list. Lagos missing teenage girl reunites with family in Bauchi, data found on page 4. And Atiku Ayu orders for Shekaroo's defection in Kano today. And we are aware of the issue Shekaroo had when he actually had issue with Konkoso in sorry, not Konkoso. He had an issue in an NNPP, but then we are aware of his defection from the APC, from PDP to APC, from APC to MNPP, now back to PDP. We don't know the political and RAEs where people just keep moving from one party to the other. But regardless of whatever it is, what all we're after is that you go there and actually contribute your own quota to nation building at the end of the day. Still on Daily Sun newspaper, we have on 2023 poll, Nigerian needs God-fearing president, says Khan. And flood render hundreds of Makurdi residents homeless. PDP crisis stalls composition of campaign council and next meeting, detail found on page 29. And the picture story here, we can see the former president Olusegun Obasanjo conferring with the former head of state, General Abdulsalam Abubakar in Minna, Niger State yesterday. And Obasanjo confers with IBB and Abdul Salami, says he has no preferred presidential candidate. Detail can be found on page 2. And Otto Azi insists he gave loan to Andy Oba, and detail of that can be found on page 26. And that is all on the Daily Sun newspaper.
And on the Vanguard newspaper, we have here Rabiu Kwankwaso, we can make Nigeria better by blocking wastages. Details can be found in page 14, and we see that people that are aspiring for the presidential position come 2023, we see them coming up with different manifesto and different things that they want to do. We see Rabiu Kwankwaso under the NNPP, who is flagging under the NNPP, saying he can make Nigeria better by blocking wastages. So I know we spoke about this. We said we shouldn't wait till when it's time for this election. We shouldn't wait till when we occupy this position. Nigeria is for everybody. Nigeria is for all of us. We know where we know issues we can pinpoint and how we can curb those issues. We know issues that it's disturbing us in our country and how we can curb those things for us to have a better Nigeria, for us to grow together. Even if you don't come out as a presidential aspirant, even if you don't come out as the president of this country, you know the issues we are going through. Why not put your heads together? We know Rabiu Kwankwaso and even different aspirants, they've occupied some key positions, either governor, either senator, different positions in the country. When we know the issue that we are going through as a country, why not pinpoint, talk with the person on the seat, talk with the president, or talk with those people heading those positions? We know this issue of wastages. We know it has caused the flood, and we recorded the flood in Makurdi. We see flood in different states, and we saw that in Gombe State, and we know how it's affecting people. This wastages, how we can clear our drainage system, how we can stop this dropping of wastage even in our waterways area, because they are the ones at the end of the day they cause this issue of flood. And we know flood is a threat to the ecosystem, is a threat to even the development, because it has a way of affecting so many things. It wipe away houses, farmland, and even people die in the process of this flood. So looking at this, we have different manifesto, we have different issues we can pinpoint. We should put our heads together with whoever is occupying those positions, even as a director, as the MD, or even the president, so that we can tackle this issue. Because I will keep on saying, if the country is better, you will benefit from it. We shouldn't wait till when you occupy that position. Then if you don't occupy, that means you keep your ideas to yourself. That is what it means. True. We saw where in the primaries where Wike said, even if you don't emerge the aspirant for PDP, he's going to work hand in hand with the person who come out as the winner, taking under the flagship of a PDP. But now we see that the reverse is the case. They have to go soliciting, they have to go beg him because he did not emerge. So I keep on saying, if you have ideas on how this country can grow, why not give it out? Why not bring it to the table so that we can look out for a lasting solution to all those problems? Aside the insecurity, we see this flood that is wiping away. Aside Makurdi, now we have that where travelers had to be stranded. Travelers around the Erua Ibadan road in Odogun, they had to be stranded because the road was filled with flood. So we see that with travelers being stranded, we see the issue of insecurity, we see threats to the life of people, because we know that in Lagos State, we know the armed robbers even use the opportunity of the heavy gridlock to rob people. Then imagine that of flood. So we just look to ways we can clear our waterways. We look out to ways we can clear the drainage system, so we will not have issues of flood reoccurring even in the nation. And also, still on the Vanguard, we have a big interview by Funsho Doherty. He's saying we'll insist on good governance to change the fortunes of Lagos. The Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says 10 Nigerian states have bigger GDPs than some African countries. Then the big story on PDP crisis, Atiku at wit's end as Ayu and Wike digs in. The rider following the story, Ayu may resist stepping down. This is from a PDP source. And Atiku have sleepless nights over Wike's demand and interest around the ex-vice president not disposed to request. Chairman not appointed but elected. This is coming from some ally. And why Wike should support Obi, Sean Atiku and Tinubu. This is from Rivers Non-Indigene. On inflation, Nigerians cut spending on utility bills as price hike persists. And we have the growth in e-bill payment from January to July in different percentage. Do well to visit the Vanguard to look out for this, the percentage of the growth in e-bill payment. And also number of transactions declined by 24%, price paid rises by 31%. Consumers living on tight budget. This is from an analyst. I have national agenda for country, not special candidates for 2023. This is coming from the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, and we know that the former president Olusegun Obasanjo have been meeting with different aspirants. They've been meeting different aspirants to talk about their agenda and talk about how they think Nigeria can grow if they occupy that position. Just last week, we know that former President Olusegun Obasanjo was in London with Tinubu, Atiku, and Peter Obi, where they met on how they can grow the nation. So they said, because what they discuss is not yet out. So we see that Obasanjo have been meeting with them. IBB also have been meeting with them, and even Abdul Salam have been meeting with these people on how they can grow the nation. But also what he's saying he have national agenda for the country. We just hope that the national agenda will really be for the country, not just for personal interest. The national agenda should be how we can grow. The national agenda is how all these sectors that are dilapidated, all the sectors that are crumbling can be revived. The national agenda should be on how we can move our nation nation forward. We know that we have so many places, if we rightly invest in, we will grow in our country. So we just hope that this and much more are the national agenda, not just personal interest, because if you occupy this position, then I have my own court, or I serve as a godfather and I give you instructions, I tell you what to do or not what to do. So we just hope that national agenda will be the interest of Nigeria and how we can grow our nation. Still on the Vanguard, we have on 2023 presidency, not by allocation to any zone. This is from NNPP. Houses submerged, property destroyed as flood wreaks havoc in Makurdi. And also downside, if you are really fighting for student, suspend strike, parents, NANS, tax, ASU. This is as a result of the meeting they had yesterday on how they can resolve the long-lasting issues between the federal government and ASU, and how students can go back to schools. And now we see where parents, definitely parents should be tired. Parents are tired, students are tired, and now they are telling ASU that if they are really tired, then they should suspend the strike and go back to school. We just hope that the outcome of this meeting, the deliberation they had concerning the ASU federal government, will be out soon. I will bring it out to you, our audience, and we just hope that it will not end in deadlock, because that is the normal story we keep on hearing. After meeting like this, it ended in deadlock, but we just hope that something positive will come out of this meeting that they've had. Then trouble looms in NICOM over purchase of 4 billion naira uncompleted office building. 2023, don't listen to presidential candidate through proxies, Peter Obi tells Nigerians. Details can be found in page 11, and that's all on the Vanguard newspaper.
And on Daily Trust newspaper, 63 days after Kaduna DPO kidnapped on duty, still in captivity, and we hope more will be done to reunite him with his family. And as aviation crisis unresolved despite the $256 million released to foreign airlines. Detail can be found on page 25. E-Naira won't take over financial service of commercial bank. This is coming from the CBN director. And Nigerian doctor-patient ration now 1 to 5,000, and this is really a brain drain. Less than 30,000 practicing. This is coming from the National Medication Association, and then more planning to leave as manpower shortage bites harder. Minister advocate instant replacement of departing doctors. And really this big story is really, very dear to my heart, because we've been talking about the welfare of our doctors. We're talking about the welfare of our our medicine practitioner. So we really have to look into what we can do. We are having the Minister of Health is saying that more needs to be done to replace departing doctors. Then what is being done to make sure that the doctors are being replaced, that their welfare is well taken care of? We saw resident doctors till date. We are yet to hear what is the outcome of what their welfare will be. They've been talking about their hazard allowance. They've been talking about the welfare. They've been talking about even the state of the structures, talking about the hospitals. We've been talking about infrastructure. And not to even talk about the issue of the diesel, where patients have to even pay so that they'll be able to, operations can be carried out on them. So we see that there are lots of, hidden issues in when you come to talk about the field of medicine. And this is really something very critical. We talk about our health. We're talking about the outbreak of Lassa fever. We're still looking at the monkeypox, that we're yet to find a lasting, solution to what is out, how people can actually be cured of it. We are still having COVID-19 living with us. We've seen that some part of the country, we've recorded quite a number of, people falling under that. So you can see that there are lots of things that need to be done. So if we are saying that Nigerian doctor patient ration is 1 to 5,000, so imagine that for every 5,000 patients, just one doctor is attending to them. Definitely these doctors will be drained. Definitely these doctors will collapse. Definitely these doctors really need help out of it. If they are having a more suitable package outside the country, definitely they want to leave the shores of Nigeria. So we have to this has to still go back to the federal government. This has to go down now to the Ministry of Health. What are you doing to check the welfare of your doctors? And no wonder people now, are looking for how they can, go for private practicing. But how many, common Nigeria can actually afford to go to private hospitals because of how very high, when you talk about death, just for you to, to see a doctor, just for him to write that consultation fee, you begin to hear a very high amount of money. Consultation is 5,000 naira. Now, for you to just consult a doctor is 5,000 naira. By the time he finishes diagnosis on you, and then he has to write for you whatever you need to buy, how much will you spend at the end of the day? So you can see that there are lots of underlying issues that really need to be addressed, and I hope that the Ministry of Health, the federal government is looking into it, just as we're looking at adding up their allocation for education. We should also look into adding up their allocation for medicine, and I think that will really go a long way to be able to curtail some of these illnesses that are lying around with us.
Thank you.
Still on the Daily Trust newspaper, why Kwankwaso and Obi alliance collapse. This is coming from Professor Alkali. And TAJ Bank gets approval to start the 100 billion naira Sukuk board. And then we're having bandit adopt 8 farmers in FCT community. You can read detail of that on page 29. And we can see the picture story here concerning the 5,000 patients to one doctor, and what the World Health Organization have to say about 600 patients to one doctor, and lots of things that are happening the way things are supposed to be done in the the field of health. So you can actually grab the Daily Trust newspaper and read any of the stories that's of interest to you.
On Al Jazeera, we have on 2023 presidency, no preferred candidate yet. This is from Obasanjo. Meets Abdul Salami, says ex-head of state is special in a way. Earlier in talk with Obi and Tinubu, and CBN healthcare intervention reduced medical tourism. This is from Emefiele. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, at the weekend said the healthcare intervention of the Apex Bank under his leadership has reduced medical tourism for Nigeria. The CBN governor said this at the 33rd seminar for finance correspondents and business editors, which was organized by the Apex Bank. The seminar had at its theme the policy options for economic diversification, thinking outside the crude oil box. And just like what we keep on saying, we need to think outside the crude oil box, and also looking at how we can stop this medical tourism. We saw what the vice president did where he had his knee surgery in our country, and he was applauded for that. Why not improve the medical, our hospitals? Why not look into ways we can have foreign equipment that are used in foreign nations, have them in our country? We have the doctors, Sele. We have all it takes. Just bring those equipment and let us use it. Then our stakeholders flying out of the country. Imagine the allocation going out for medical tourism. Imagine the entourage that have to go out with you. Why not invest those things rightly in our country for us to seek medical help in our country and get those medical help? We saw where the vice president had his knee surgery in our country. We saw Nigerians, doctors who took the surgery on him. We saw when they had a snapshot with him, and everything went well. He even attended the FEC meeting. That's after the knee surgery, his first appearance, and he's hale and hearty. So why not put those things into it? And we see where CBN are putting that into consideration. We just hope that the right equipment will be bought on how our doctors can improve their standard of their standard in our country. And if we have all these things, definitely they won't look out for ways they can fly out of this country. But if it's not conducive for them, they don't have the equipment to conduct so many diagnoses, they don't have all it takes for work to be smooth for them, it is frustrating on their part. So we just look out for where this can be done, and what CBN is bringing to the table, I just hope we'll adopt it with our full hands and bring them to the table so that we can use those measures for our doctors and even for the hospitals to be of great standard in the country. Then we have Nigeria now capable of producing standard COVID vaccines. This is from NAFDAC, and that is a good achievement, and it's very good. We just hope that we have this medicines, we have these vaccines, and people can also take these vaccines of COVID-19. And Akwa Ibom police retreat ban on masquerades. NBA vows punishment for killers of magistrates in Kebbi, and no plans to create Emirate Council in Yelwa. This is coming from Plateau State Governor. NICOM plans to acquire 5 billion naira office tier management apart and adopt Jonathan's method to end strike, ASU tells Buhari. And DSS releases Kanu's mother, Mama Biafra, from detention. The last story says federal government committed to ending borders dispute with Cameroon. Details can be found in page 22, and that's all on the Al Jazeera newspaper.
And on the Blueprint newspaper, the Nigerian Air Force Yarum Shakuru successor Sambisa hideouts calls kill. The rider Florida story vows to further intensify onslaught against terrorists. You can read the continuation of that story on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. And the 2023 takes center stage at CBN conference. Tinubu presidency will replicate Lagos and Borno wonders. This is coming from Shaitima, and that's all on the Blueprint newspaper.
And on the Punch newspaper, we have federal government rakes in 1.9 trillion naira from indirect taxes. Details can be found in page 27. And on unpaid salaries, Plateau, Benue, Ondo workers, others groan. And it's high time they groan over unpaid salaries. You know, for the Plateau, we have the workers are groaning over their salary. Like over 3 months now, they've not been paid salary. How do you expect these people to feed? How do you expect these people to take care of themselves and even meet up to some needs and even expectations? So it's high time they groan, and not just those workers of the state government. We see where our police also are groaning about unpaid salaries. We see where doctors are groaning over unpaid salaries. We see where the educational sectors workers are groaning in different parastatals. They are groaning, and now we see where state workers also are groaning. So this is time where the state governors of this states, Plateau, Benue, Ondo, take up to your demand and do what you are supposed to do. Meet up to the needs of these people. Pay them their salaries, because like when people work, they demand their pay at the end of the day. Yes, every worker demands his wages. So we just look up to these governors. Please pay the salaries of these workers. And we have contributory pension asset hits worth 14.36 trillion naira. ASU strike enters 196th day. Union decides today. And just like what we keep on saying, we just hope that it becomes fruitful. And after the meeting today, they call off the strike. Aviation sector's GDP crashes by 61% amid crisis. And PDP National Working Committee divided over IU chairman's fate uncertain. And also, I have no problem being loyal to Wike and Makinde. This is from the Deputy National Chairman, Arapaja. Party in dilemma over successor if IU resign. Spokesman says National Working Committee not divided. Atiku, others receive Shekarau back to PDP today. Obasanjo touts national agenda. Libyan factional government clash, 32 killed, 159 injured. And Lassa fever cases now 894, Ondo, Edo leads. So people in those axes in Ondo and Edo take the precautionary method. And also other states that they are not leading in this chart of Lassa fever. Take the precautionary measures and try to cover your food. Then look out for insecticide that gets rid of rats, even around your side and around your environment. So do all it takes to get rid of this Lassa fever, because it kills very fast. Then here we have 30,000 died of air pollution in Lagos. This is from LASEPA, and I would like to say it's as a result of so many factories we have. We have the congestion in Lagos State. We have so many factories, and you know that their waste it brings out this pollution. And now we see where we have people dying. Over 30,000 people died as a result of this air pollution. And also places that this waste are being dumped also have a way of affecting the people in such environments. So I would say a good place for dumping of waste should be provided for all these factories, where they can dump their waste that is far from the city, far from where people are, residential areas. Then also look out for places that all these factories are being situated. They need to be in a place not close to where people are residing, because people having this death rate of the air pollution as a result of this air pollution is not encouraging to us. So we need to do something about it, and even Lagos State government need to do something about this air pollution that is affecting residents in Lagos State. An accident killed 3 commuters. They cry Lagos Ibadan gridlock. Something needs to be done very fast concerning this gridlock and how the roads can be controlled. So we call on the road safety to do something about this gridlock and how it can be controlled, and even LASTMA officials also, they should do something about this gridlock so that there can be easy movement around such places. That's all on the Punch newspaper.
And on Nigerian Tribune, I have no special presidential candidate. This is coming from Obasanjo. You can read detail of that on page 24 of the Nigerian Tribune. How CBN saved commercial banks and power sector from collapse. If you want to know more about that, check that story on page 6. And the Imo Guba election, we have Eyodoha suffered daylight robbery, Dogara declares. You can read more of that too on page 30. We are still looking for Deborah's killers. This is coming from the police, and I believe that more needs to be done about this. If there were pictures that actually show them,
yes,
then you begin to ask questions to say, how long will you take you to be able to, persecute those people that are behind the killing of Deborah? I mean, if they're in the shores of Nigeria, they shouldn't be out of reach of Nigeria, except if you're trying to tell us that they actually crossed from another country down to Nigeria. And I believe that they will also have security agencies at the border that can actually check into this. So we are please calling on the police to intensify their searches, to make sure that those that are behind the killing of Deborah are brought to book and that they face the full wrath of the law at the end of the day.
Yes, so even if they are out of this country, we saw where Nnamdi Kanu was fished out from another country. We saw where even Sunday Igboho, the military went to another country to bring him up. So these people can do something and bring them out. Their faces are known because they even made videos and said they are the killers of Deborah Samuel. And also we know at the time where the issue of her death was taking charge, we saw where they said these people, the students ran, lawyers, that he ran to the neighboring country, that is Niger Republic. But we can go there and get this boy. We can go there and do something, because this issue have been long overdue since her death. So we just look out for ways the police and our military operative can put in more efforts to get these killers, because we need to start showing how we are keen about killing people. We are keen about jungle justice, because if we keep on wiping this under the carpet, more will be done in other places. So we need to bring these people out and let them face the full wrath of the law. This will help. This will serve as a warning sign to others that are engaging in these activities, in this act, in the hidden. They will know that if they are being fished out, they're going to face the full wrath of the law. We should not just handle this issue with laxity, because it involves the killing of someone. So something needs to be done very fast about this issue.
Of course, and I think the lawyers that even came to defend them, they should be able to tell us exactly where they are, whoever the people they are defending are. We're still on the Nigerian Tribune. ASU holds crucial NEC meeting today. Detail found on page 8, and we hope that the meeting that lingered from yesterday, which was from around 2:50 down to 9:50 p.m., we hope that whatever the meeting is today too will actually have a very positive result at the end of the day. An NDLEA arrests Lagos airport cleaner who lead the drug syndicate. The big story here, PDP governors may prevail on Ayu to resign. The writer following that story, it is too late to remove him. This is coming from Milai. And then says governors not Atiku responsible for PDP crisis. You can read up that story on page 23. Mayhem in Lagos, mile 12 over killing of transport union leader. Detail found on page 27. Lagos lost 22,500 children to air pollution in 2021. This is coming from the government of Lagos State. Housing expert push for use of sawdust bamboo in place of cement and sand, where we can read up that story too on page 4. We do not want president that will favor the North. This is coming from Baba Ahmed. And the last story here, Atiku lands in Kano, Shakaro and others join PDP today. Detail found on page 24. And that is all on the Nigerian Tribune.
And I'll take the nation before we go on this timeout. We have federal government to block illegal diversion on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Details can be found in page 27. And Wike gets Rivers PDP backing on calls for Ayu's removal. On the Nation newspaper, Lagos National Union of Road Transport Workers leader killed in cult clash. Ondo teachers don't enroll your kids in private school. And this is coming from Ondo to teachers that they should enroll their kids in public schools, because if you're a teacher in a public school and your children are in a private school, that means you don't believe in what you do. So you are seeing when the Ondo state government is talking to teachers that are teaching in public schools that they should enroll their kids in public school. I think if your words are in the school you teach, I think you give out your best, because just last week I was discussing with a colleague on how the teachers in public school, how they take their work serious. They don't take their work serious any longer. They just do things like, let me just do it. It's government work. At the end of the day, they close by 12. But even within that moment, they don't even engage in the teaching activities that they are supposed to do. Rather, you see them sitting down, gisting. You see them, and just the children engaging themselves in some activities. So that we see that because of this, we see where state government are telling teachers in this public school that enroll your words there. Maybe when you enroll your words there, then you will be keen and you will give out the best to all these words in this.
But
places.
then if you are to tell the teachers actually enroll their words in public school, not in private school, then you as the government of that state also have to look into the welfare of the teacher. Sometimes you don't blame these teachers when they do whatever they want to do, because their welfare is not even checked into. You go and then you hear that at the end of the day they are being given peanuts, and then we feel that, and that's why nobody regards the public school any longer, especially when you check the primary school, public school. It's really a pity too. So when you walk into the classroom, it's either there are no chairs for the student, or they are not even will I say teaching manuals, teaching facilities, to make sure that they aid these teachers in making sure that their work is simple. So I think in as much as we're taxing these teachers to make sure that their words are actually in public school, we saw that in the beginning when the governor of Kaduna State actually took his child to a public school. But then at the end of the day, we know how it ended up. He removed his child, he said, because of insecurity and things like that. So you cannot, at the end of the day, this is what we are saying, practice what you teach. Now this goes to the government. Where are your words? You can't tell teachers to send their kids to public school. Where your own child, where is he or she schooling? Are they schooling in public schools? I think, example, you have to start from yourself. You don't tell somebody else to do something. Meanwhile, you personally is not even practicing that. So you can't expect teachers to do that when you as the government or you as the governor of that state do not practice what you're saying other people should do. So I think we should start from the government, not the teachers to say.
Thank you very much, Sele. We have kidnapped police officer freed and gunmen kill hotelier and 3 others. How Nigeria can benefit from stable oil markets, and details can be found in page 2 of the Nation newspaper. And Obasanjo is saying, I have no preferred candidate but national agenda. Ex-president visits Babangida Abdul Salami and Ogwani. ASU to review 6-month-old strike and why government can ban union by Falana. Lagos airport cleaner in NDLEA's net for leading drug syndicate. Details can be found in page 5, and that's all on the Nation newspaper. But before we continue with other papers, we'll be right back after this timeout, where our phone lines will be opened for you to call us on stories that interest you. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying tuned and welcome back to the Dailies on Equa Television. Our phone lines are open. Do well to call us on stories that interest you. We have reviewing stories on former President Olusegun Obasanjo saying he have no preferred candidate, but he has the national agenda at heart. And also the meeting that will be held today by ASU and federal government on deciding the fate of the students that have been at home for this long. We know that the strike have reached the 190 96th day today. And also other stories that interest you, where Ondo State government is saying teachers of public schools should enroll their wards in public schools. What can you say about all the stories? We have comments on our Facebook pages. I would like to take. Also, do well to drop your comments and we'll read them real time. Let me take those. Okay, we have Mr. Fidelis from Kaduna. Good morning.
Hello.
Sorry, Mr. Felix. Good morning.
Yeah, I am very happy listening to you all the time.
Thank you.
But I have one complaint or my view to say. The Kaduna or Nigeria or Jos or Lagos or whatever part of the country, the elites we have tilt the country towards religion. And the Deborah case is not an exception. And that is what the game they've been playing. And it has affected the socio-economic understanding of the public. The masses are not educated in that light. So it's a game they are playing. So I am calling on Nigerians as they listen to this programs, they should be educated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Felix. We should not look at religion. We should not be biased about religion when doing this, because it's a national issue. We need to put our hands together and fight this issue at hand. I would like to take a comment from Ezra. He says, may the Lord help us. May the Lord help us. And we have Hawa saying, May God's will be done in Nigeria. Amen. May God's will be done. Please drop your comments and we'll take them real time. Sele, we can move over to the next paper.
Okay, the leadership newspaper Uzubanjo condemns the wrong characterization of Nigeria abroad. You can read more of that on page 6 of the leadership newspaper. And on Abacha's loot, Serap asked the president to publicize the agreement with the U.S. government, still on page 6 of the leadership newspaper. And then on crook theft, oil workers plan shutdown of the sector. And we can see that key unions in Nigerian oil and gas industry are putting together a major nationwide action to protect potential oil theft in the country. And leadership can conclusively report that a major mobilization toward this action.
Sorry to cut. We have Mr. Eze from Oka. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We are good. Please go on with your contribution.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Go on with your contribution.
I want to. I want to is that is that they follow strike. They should not go on strike. Otherwise, that they should go on to their dream. If their demands are not met. Otherwise, if they follow the strike,
Mr. Eze, we're having issues with the network. Please call us back on the program. Thank you very much. Sele, you can continue.
All right, still on the leadership oil tab, we have key unions in Nigerian oil and gas industry are putting together a major nationwide action to protect potential oil theft in the country. Leadership can exclusively report that a major mobilization toward this action is an advanced stage following their resolve to expose those behind the crime. And I hope that more will be done, because we saw the huge amount of money we've lost as a result of oil theft. So I just hope that more will be done. The operations will be intensified to check those that are behind that. And just like I said, those that are behind that, we want to see the names, just like the way we are asking for those that are financing Boko Haram terrorist movement in the country. We also want the names of those behind this crook oil theft, and those who are owning illegal refineries should also be given. Still on the leadership newspaper, I have no special candidate for 2023, says Obasanjo. and PDP crisis. State chairman divided over demand for IUSAC single team for Atiku. It is ill-timed, unconstitutional, says chairman loyalist. He must step down, opponents insist, and party chairman neck to meet as concerns mount over campaign cancel. You can read more of that story on page 4.
We have Mr. Stephen from Benue. Good morning. Hello, Mr. Stephen.
Morning today. It's like retired 20 years and above. If they do that, they go to police and paramilitary. Automatically, the terrorists will take over Nigeria as they take over Afghanistan. But we pray it will not happen. But when you are removing the experienced ones who would have been able to perform their military and police and paramilitary and civil service, this will be good for the country. Terrorists will take over the country. So they be very careful, and they are going to offer it more than before. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stephen, talking about what should be put in place to tackle this issue of terrorism in our country. And we just hope that all these measures will be put in place. An issue of terrorism will be a thing of history. So that you can continue.
In the State on the Leadership newspaper, presidency to open State House Library to students. You can read more of that on page 21. And after 6 months, ASU may embark on indefinite strike. And we hope that that will not be the case after today's meeting. So we'll cross our fingers concerning the outcome of today's meeting. And that's all on the Leadership newspaper.
Thank you very much. On the New Telegraph, we have measures panic grip aviation as SGF receives Oronsaya report. The rider says NCAA, NAMA, NIMET may be fused and funds privatization recommended. And I wonder, if we privatize all the company, what will be left for the government? We need to look at how we can develop all these places, how we can infrastructure, create more development and infrastructure rather than privatizing all this company. Because you see the history of privatization. Companies who've privatized, where are they? What growth have they brought about? What development and even what changes have been seen in those places? Rather than privatizing all this company, do the needful, do what is supposed to be done, even from your own part. And we have CBN, PBOC's packed boost yuan sales of 5.78 billion in 2021. IMF extend capacity development support to Fiscal Responsibilities Commission, and no official resignation letter from Shekaro. This is coming from NNPP. Economic, social, political leadership failure caused by insecurity in Enugu. This is coming from Frank Nweke Jr. We have Emeka from Enugu. Good morning.
I just want to say a very big thank you for what people are doing. I want to know, well, at times the people normally start in the. I just on my station now.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Emeka. It's from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. every day. 9 to 10 a.m. every day, Mondays to Friday. Thank you very much. And we have still on the New Telegraph, $23 million Abacha loot. Group wants federal government to make copy of pact with U.S. public, and here threatens legal action. Details can be found in page 2. And on the London meetings, it's wrong for politicians to discuss Nigerians' problem abroad. This is coming from Northern Elders. Berate Atiku, Tinubu Obi, route for president that will be fair to all Nigerians. And I know on Friday we had almost all our callers talking about holding a meeting that concerns our nation, the growth of our nation. In a foreign nation, do we see where people in London come to Nigeria to hold their meeting? Why not hold your meeting here? We see where we talk about this medical tourism. We see another tourism here because we know that it is not small amount of money that will be spent in going abroad. Not just Tinubu, Atiku, and Obi that were in this meeting. We saw other people that were part of this meeting, and we know the prize in that aviation. We have Mr. Julius from Ebonyi. Good morning. Hello, Mr. Julius.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
I'm off for the coming from Odyssey.
Okay, thank you. Go on with your contribution.
This federal government should do something as regards to the country's country. Because the picture of our country. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Go on. Okay, just like I was saying, we know the price of purchasing ticket. Now we know how expensive it is. So why hold meetings that concerns our nation in foreign country? Not just the northern elders are talking about this. Whole Nigerians are talking about this. Whatever meeting, whatever deliberation you have concerning our growth, let it be held in our country. We need to support our own country. We need to show our own country even to the foreign nation. We need to be proud of our own nation also. And we have here on the New Telegraph, reps to foreign carriers jettison planned sale of tickets in dollars as Emirates resigned decision to leave Nigeria September 1st, cuts frequency to 4 from 14. IPOB warns kidnappers to leave Southeast, and women protest livestock rearing in community schools. This is in Imo State. Details can be found in page 4 and 25. Nigeria backed Saudi Arabia call for stable oil markets, and 2023 poll is contest between masses and elites. This is from Kwankoso saying, I have national agenda, no special candidates from Obasanjo, visits Babangida and Abdul Salami. And here we have a study which ties good sleep to lower heart and stroke risks. Details can be found in page 30, and that's all on the New Telegraph.
On the Guardian newspaper, NDDC, don't set Niger Delta on fire. The South elders warn Malami. You can read detail of that on page 3. And then the South, the Middle Belt groups ask federal government to shelve the 2023 census. You can read up that too on page 3. ASWA accuses education minister of aggression. Institute of Directors takes the South and the Southeast governors on insecurity and economy. You can read more of that on page 27. Obasanjo meet Abdul Salami, IBB to unveil the 2023 agenda soon. With the writer, Obasanjo said, I have national agenda, not special candidate. Atiku to receive Shekaru and others defectors into PDP in Kano today. Judge insists the PDP must correct loopsidedness against the South before election. And the NEF scribe berates political class for meeting abroad over nation wars. NNPP will shock Nigerians, says Kwankoso. And you can read that on the front page and continuation on page 6. Downside of the paper, we have Nigerians top list of study visa to US and UK. Motorist commuters decry beggar insensitivity in handling the Lagos-Ibadan expressway. And you can see a picture story of the flood that's actually, causing the havoc there, and also the Greek lock. And that's all on the Guardian newspaper.
And on the matrix, we have 10 Nigerian states have GDPs bigger than some countries. This is from Oshibanjo. And Falana urges federal government to stop blackmailing ASU, sign renegotiation agreement immediately. And here, uphill tax for Super Eagles Team B, lose 2-0 to Ghana in Chan qualifier. Atiku, Ayu, Okoa, others in Kano to welcome Shekaro to PDP today. And Africa's worst traffic congestion index, Lagos tops list as Nairobi, Cairo makes top 3. How traffic congestion contributes to stress level and economic loss. NDLEA arrests Lagos airport cleaner for leading drug syndicate, and expectations high as ASU meets to review 6-month-old strike. Serap demands copy of agreement with US on $23 million repatriated Abacha loot. And the last story here we can see the traffic gridlock along those axes and what can be done to reduce this, because it has a way of affecting the stress level and also the economic growth of our country. Thank you, Sele, for doing this with me.
My pleasure.
And thank you to all those who dropped their comments and also called on the Facebook line. Let's do this tomorrow, same time, same station. Nigeria Now comes up by 10. Stay tuned and watch the program. Thank you.